The vast chamber of the Galactic Senate glowed with cold light. Thousands of alien delegates seated in endless concentric tiers that spiraled toward the domed ceiling. The air hummed with quiet murmurs in dozens of languages, punctuated by clicking mandibles, melodic tones, and low growls. In the center, a holographic map of Earth flickered, framed by a red warning pulse. Ambassador Miriam Zhao stood on the central dais, her posture unyielding despite the weight of 1,000 disbelieving eyes. The translucent screen before her displayed the text of Resolution 729, a mandate demanding Earth's complete disarmament or face the consequences, a decree unprecedented in the galaxy's history. The Galactic Senate hereby commands the immediate surrender of all Earth's military assets, the Senate Speaker announced, his voice echoing like thunder through the chamber. The speaker was a towering figure of the Vrex, an insectoid race known for their merciless pragmatism. His many eyes glinted with cold disdain as he finished. This is not a negotiation. It is an order. A ripple of whispered speculation ran through the assembly. Many older civilizations viewed humanity as volatile, reckless, a species that had exploded onto the galactic stage with unparalleled technological progress, but without the centuries of careful diplomacy and control. To them, Earth was a wildfire threatening to burn the established order. Miriam's pulse quickened, but her voice remained calm and clear as she stepped forward. Honored delegates, I speak not just for Earth's governments, but for all its people, she said, her tone steady. You seek to disarm us because you fear what we may become, but understand this, fear alone will not dictate our future. Her words echoed on the silent waves that carried her voice to every corner of the chamber. Cameras zoomed in on her determined face, the flicker of a nervous smile that belied the calm storm beneath. Earth's history is written in fire and resolve. We survived global wars, pandemics, and near extinction. Our weapons were forged not for conquest, but for survival. To ask us to surrender them is to ask us to surrender our right to exist. From the shadows, a handful of delegates whispered, some with respect, others with contempt. The Galactic Senate's fear is misplaced, Miriam continued. Disarmament will not bring peace. It will bring chaos. A defenseless humanity invites disaster, not safety. The Vrex speaker's mandibles clicked, in irritation. Ambassador Zhao, the Senate does not act out of fear but caution. Your species' rapid militarization threatens regional stability. Your orbitals and quantum arms can destabilize entire star systems. Miriam nodded. Then let the Senate offer a real alternative. Cooperation, transparency, mutual defense agreements, but not disarmament under threat of invasion. The chamber erupted into fragmented shouts, some rising in support, others in dismissal. Delegates debated heatedly in their native tongues. The vote, Miriam knew, was already decided behind closed doors. Back on Earth, billions watched the broadcast with a mix of horror and disbelief. Social media exploded with hashtags like Stand with Earth and No Disarmament. World leaders held emergency meetings. Military commanders consulted secret protocols. In a hidden command center beneath the ruins of Old Berlin, General Marcus Lee tapped through encrypted messages. They want to disarm us. 30 days or they come with guns blazing, he muttered to his deputy. The young officer's eyes flickered with a mix of fear and pride. The Senate doesn't understand humans, Marcus said. They've never fought a war for their survival like we have. They don't know what it means to hold the line when everything you love is on the brink of extinction. Elsewhere, in the sprawling halls of the United Earth Government headquarters in New Shanghai, Miriam convened an emergency session of Earth's leaders. We must unite, not just governments, but all of humanity, she told the room. The Senate expects us to fracture. We won't. We'll show them the true spirit of Earth. Her words were met with silence, then murmurs of agreement. The defense minister tapped her tablet. We activate Operation Aegis, our contingency plan, cloak our true capabilities, buy time, and prepare for anything. As night fell across Earth, giant holographic projections of Miriam's speech illuminated city skylines from New York to Nairobi, Tokyo to Buenos Aires. The message was clear. Earth would not kneel. In the Senate chamber, the Vrex speaker concluded the session. The vote is unanimous. Earth has 30 days to comply or face collective military action. Miriam's eyes met his, calm, unwavering. Then we have 30 days to prove you wrong. As she turned to leave, a murmur rippled through the crowd. Some delegates, younger and less jaded, exchanged uncertain looks. Perhaps the old order was about to be challenged, and Earth, the wild planet of fire and hope, was ready to shock them all. The disarmament fleet emerged from hyperspace like a shadow eclipsing Earth's sun, an ominous armada of sleek warships, each a cathedral of alien technology and ruthless purpose. At the helm was Admiral Tiquar, a towering figure of the Zixari race, with serpentine eyes that burned with cold contempt. His fleet's presence was a clear message. Compliance was no longer optional. From the command bridge of his flagship Dread Seraph, Tiquar surveyed the blue jewel below. 30 days, he hissed in his native tongue, the harsh syllables vibrating through the ship's steel bones. 30 days to break this insolent species. Beside him, his second-in-command, Lieutenant Vrel, scowled. They'll surrender. Before the deadline. They're primitive and divided. Their world is rife with chaos. Tiquar's forked tongue flicked. They survived a century of nuclear war and now they unite under threat. Underestimate humanity at your peril. Meanwhile, beneath Earth's skies, humanity's leaders moved swiftly. In a sprawling underground complex beneath New Delhi, Colonel Aisha Rahman stood before a holographic map, peppered with blinking red dots. Hidden military enclaves scattered across the globe. We activate Operation Aegis, she declared to her officers. No weapon systems will be dismantled. Instead, we'll cloak our true strength, deceive the Senate, and prepare for defense and counterstrike. Her team nodded grimly. Years of clandestine research, hidden factories on the moon, and secret shipyards on Mars would finally be tested. Earth's technological edge, long hidden beneath layers of disinformation, was about to be revealed. At United Earth Government Headquarters, Ambassador Miriam Zhao met with General Marcus Lee and top scientists. The Senate believes Earth's military is fragile. We'll show them it's anything but. A young engineer, Dr. Lin Wu, chimed in. Our new quantum stealth generators can mask entire fleets from Senate sensors. Our AI-controlled drones adapt to any threat. We're ready. The question was, would the Senate act before Earth was fully prepared? As the 30-day countdown began, the Senate fleet hovered ominously in high orbit, blockading Earth's communication, satellites and observing every military move with ruthless precision. Publicly, the Senate broadcast messages urging peace and compliance. But privately, Admiral Tiquar's officers sharpened their tactics for invasion. In the crowded streets of New York, in quiet villages across the Serengeti, and aboard cargo, ships sailing the Pacific, Earth's people lived in a tense calm. The looming fleet was a constant reminder. The galaxy expected Earth to break. But in the underground bunkers, soldiers drilled relentlessly. Engineers pushed the limits of AI, quantum computing, and plasma weaponry. Intelligence agents hunted for Senate spies. Humanity was preparing for a war no one wanted, but was ready to fight. Meanwhile, Ambassador Zhao took to the galactic airwaves, again this time addressing the Senate in a closed session. Disarmament will not save you from conflict, it will invite it, she warned. Humanity's strength lies not only in its weapons but in its will to survive. Do you truly believe you can control us with threats? The response was icy silence. Days later, Tiquar summoned his commanders. Begin Phase 2. Readiness for deployment. We will accept no delays. Earth's defiance ends in compliance or destruction. His voice carried a chilling certainty. But Earth's countermeasures had already begun. In secret, drone swarms launched from hidden orbital platforms, testing Senate sensor grids. Cloaked vessels slipped from Mars asteroid yards to patrol the edges of the blockade. Cyber warfare teams probed Senate networks, planting digital tripwires. On the ground, Covert operatives intercepted Senate emissaries, learning the enemy's weaknesses. The Senate fleet, confident and arrogant, failed to see the storm gathering beneath their feet. Then came a subtle but bold move. Earth sent an encrypted message to the Senate fleet's commanders, a challenge masked as a peace offer: meet us in neutral space, the message read, to discuss terms before the deadline. Tequar sneered. A trap, no doubt. Yet the Senate leadership ordered a delegation to accept, hoping to assert dominance through diplomacy. The stage was set for a confrontation not just of weapons, but wills. On Earth, citizens followed every development with rapt attention. In the crowded halls of the United Earth government, Miriam Zhao and her advisors watched the diplomatic dance unfold. Each move we make must be precise, she said. The Senate wants us broken. We will not bend, we will strike where it counts. In the quiet moments before the meeting, Zhao's thoughts flickered to the history of her people. The wars survived, the sacrifices made, the unyielding spirit. This was more than politics or power. It was humanity's right to exist free and unafraid. As the Senate delegation ship touched down on a neutral station orbiting between Earth and the fleet, both sides prepared for a fragile parley. Behind the polished facade of diplomacy, tension crackled like static electricity. Neither side trusted the other. But one thing was certain. The galaxy had never seen a species like humanity before, and when the Senate tried to disarm Earth, they awakened a force no one could contain. In the dim glow of a war museum on the outskirts of Old Moscow, a group of young cadets gathered around an aging man with scars etched deep into his weathered face. General Marcus Lee's voice was steady but filled with the weight of history. Earth's past is not just dates and battles, he told them. It's the reason we survived when others would have fallen. It's the reason the Senate fears us now. He led them through a holographic timeline, showing Earth's darkest decades, the Great War, a century-long conflict that devastated continents, tore nations apart, and nearly annihilated humanity. Cities reduced to ash, entire generations lost, governments shattered. But from that fire came invention, Lee continued. We learned to adapt faster than any enemy. We built smarter weapons, stronger defenses, and fought with a ferocity born of desperation. Across the galaxy, many civilizations had evolved over millennia of peace and stability. Humanity's story was different, a crucible of chaos that forged brutal efficiency and fierce independence. In a hidden orbital shipyard near Mars, engineers labored beneath the glow of artificial suns, assembling sleek new vessels invisible to Senate sensors. These ships were not just war machines, they were symbols of Earth's survival instinct. Dr. Lin Wu, a quantum physicist, oversaw the installation of next-generation stealth technology. Our cloaking systems bend light, radar, and even gravitational waves, she explained to her team. The Senate's best scanners won't see us coming. Nearby, AI cores hummed to life, programmed to learn and evolve during combat. Swarms of drones, adaptable and relentless, waited for deployment. Back on Earth, underground bunkers buzzed with activity. Veterans of forgotten wars trained alongside new recruits, sharing lessons written in blood and sweat. Colonel Aisha Rahman watched as her soldiers rehearsed urban combat drills, each movement precise, each tactic refined through decades of conflict. This isn't just training, she said. It's the spirit of survival passed down. But it wasn't only weaponry or tactics that made humanity dangerous. It was something deeper, a refusal to surrender. Meanwhile, Admiral Tequar paced the bridge of Dread Seraph, frustration growing. They hide behind shadows, use guerrilla tactics, and cloak their fleets, he muttered. They are unpredictable and dangerous. His officers exchanged uneasy glances. No other species had ever defied the Senate so openly. Tequar's own past was marked by victories won through sheer firepower and overwhelming force. But Earth was different. They fought like wolves, cornered but unyielding. Back on Earth, Ambassador Miriam Zhao prepared for the next Senate session, aware that time was slipping away. Behind her calm exterior was a fierce determination. History is on our side, she said to her advisors. The Senate has forgotten that survival breeds strength. We must remind them. As days passed, Earth's hidden military network extended beyond the solar system. Supply lines through the asteroid belt and bases on Titan hummed with secret energy. Even the colonies on Mars, long thought to be civilian outposts, served as launch points for new vessels and staging areas for defense. Humanity's resilience was a web woven through space and time. One night in a quiet command room on the moon, Marcus Lee studied star charts and intercepted Senate communications. "They think they've cornered us," he said quietly. "But they don't realize we're not just defending Earth. We're defending the idea that no species will ever be broken." The tension reached a boiling point when a covert Senate scout ship disappeared near the asteroid belt. No distress signal, no debris, just silence. Earth's intelligence suspected sabotage, but official denial kept panic at bay. Admiral Tequar ordered increased patrols, but worried the Senate's grip was loosening. "Earth's shadows grow longer," he warned his commanders. "Prepare for open conflict." In the heart of Earth's command centers, the countdown to the disarmament deadline ticked louder. But beneath the surface, humanity's true power stirred, a storm forged in war, waiting to break free. The Senate had issued an ultimatum, but Earth was preparing a response that would shake the stars. Because in every shadow of war, humanity found strength, and they were not about to surrender. The day of the disarmament ceremony arrived with a fragile peace hanging over Earth like a thin veil. Broadcasts from the United Earth government were beamed across the galaxy, promising transparency and goodwill. The Senate delegation, led by the haughty Admiral Tequar, was invited to witness what was presented as humanity's official surrender of their orbital defenses. From the surface, the world watched with bated breath. Giant holograms projected across city skylines depicted Earth's leaders ceremoniously deactivating powerful weapon systems. In orbit, the vast orbital defense net, the invisible shield that had protected Earth for decades, was to be disarmed in a grand gesture of peace. Admiral Tequar stood on the observation deck of his flagship, Dread Seraph, surrounded by Senate officials and military officers. "Finally," he murmured, "this species bows." But beneath the glittering facade, Earth's engineers and generals orchestrated a carefully woven deception. In a secret command center hidden deep beneath the Antarctic ice, Colonel Aisha Rahman monitored the operation closely. Her fingers danced over controls, triggering holographic overrides and activating secondary systems cloaked from Senate scanners. "We proceed with the fake deactivation," she instructed. "All orbital weapons will appear offline but remain on standby. Our true defenses remain intact and upgraded." Back in orbit, drones equipped with holographic emitters transformed active weapon platforms into ghostly silhouettes. Dead and powerless in appearance, but deadly and primed beneath the illusion. Meanwhile, Earth's AI swarms waited silently, ready to spring to life. As the Senate fleet relaxed, believing victory was near, the stage was set for the unexpected. Just as the final ceremonial cables were cut and countdowns to deactivation ticked to zero, an accident occurred. Rogue drone swarm, an unplanned anomaly according to Earth's public statement, glitched and detached from the control grid. It zipped toward the flagship Dread Seraph silently and swiftly. On board, alarm screamed. "Intruder detected," the ship's AI announced coldly. The swarm, equipped with stealth tech and non-lethal electromagnetic pulse emitters, swarmed the cruiser's sensors and communication arrays. Systems flickered and failed. The ship drifted powerless for precious minutes, long enough for Earth's forces to remotely jam the flagship's engines and disable its weapon systems. Senate officers scrambled in chaos, stunned by the unexpected strike. Admiral Tequar's eyes blazed with fury. "Contain the drones, identify the cause." But the drones vanished into the shadows of space before reinforcements could arrive. The incident stunned the Senate delegation. Earth's official statement called it a technical malfunction and pledged an immediate investigation, but whispers of sabotage rippled through the Senate's ranks. Admiral Tequar accused Earth of bad faith, but the rest of the Senate hesitated. Could Earth be bluffing? The fragile peace shattered. Back on Earth, Ambassador Miriam Zhao watched the unfolding crisis from the control room, her expression unreadable. "The Senate thinks they cornered us," she said softly. "They don't realize we've never been more prepared." Across the planet, the hidden shipyards that had been building cloaked vessels roared to life. Drone swarms were scrambled into orbit. AI pilots waited in their neural tanks. In the Senate's War Council, the mood darkened. "Earth's deception is an act of war," declared Speaker Vrex. "We must respond with force." Taquar's voice was a low growl. "I will lead the assault. They will learn the cost of defiance." But not all in the Senate agreed. Senator Cathar, a diplomat from the peaceful Yalara species, warned, "This conflict could ignite a galaxy-wide war. Perhaps there is still time to negotiate." The division within the Senate deepened. On Earth, civilians were unaware of the full scale of the hidden preparations. Life went on under a tense but hopeful facade. In a quiet moment, General Marcus Lee addressed his officers. "We showed the galaxy a broken surface, but beneath Earth's heart beat strong. When they strike, we'll be ready. The coming days would be the true test." As the Senate fleet tightened its blockade and prepared for a full assault, humanity stood not as a victim, but as a challenger. And in the silent depths of space, the first shots of a war no one expected were about to be fired. The first ripple of battle came not with a roar, but a whisper, a silent strike that shook the Senate fleet to its core. Earth's hidden defenses, cloaked beneath layers of deception, awakened like a coiled serpent ready to strike. From secret orbital platforms, the first salvo was unleashed. Waves of drone swarms shimmering with adaptive camouflage darted through space like ghosts. They swarmed Senate ships' sensor arrays, jamming communications and blinding weapon systems. The Senate commanders scrambled to respond, but their fleet was unprepared for such a ghostly assault. Admiral Taquar's voice cut through the chaos, sharp and commanding. "Form defensive perimeter. Engage the intruders." But Earth's drones moved too fast, too fluidly. In the darkness, they struck with precision, disabling the flagship's weapon turrets and forcing it into evasive maneuvers. One by one, Senate vessels were crippled, their once imposing silhouettes now helpless beacons adrift in space. Below decks on the Dread Seraph, alarms blared. Officers scrambled, but every system seemed to betray them. The Senate's pride was shattered. At Earth's command centers, General Marcus Lee and Colonel Aisha Rahman watched the unfolding battle with grim satisfaction. "Our plan is working," Marcus said. The Senate thought they were facing a disarmed planet. Instead, they've been blind to the storm. As the drones began to withdraw, stealth fighters burst from hidden hangars on Mars and the Moon. Sleek and silent, these ships cut through Senate lines like blades, striking key targets with precision plasma beams. The Senate fleet, caught off guard, faltered. But the battle was not just fought in the cold vacuum of space. On board the largest Senate cruiser, the Vanguard, an elite Earth task force led by Captain Elena Vasquez dropped from orbit. Clad in advanced, powered armor, the soldiers moved swiftly through corridors, hacking systems and capturing the ship from within. Vasquez's team faced Senate Marines with ruthless efficiency. Each corridor was a maze of tension, the flickering emergency lights casting long shadows as firefights erupted in confined spaces. "We take this ship," Vasquez ordered calmly, and the Senate's morale shatters. Meanwhile, across Earth's surface, electromagnetic pulse cannons hidden in mountain bunkers neutralized Senate orbital weapons aimed at cities. Citizens watched skyward as satellites and cruisers blinked out in rapid succession. In the Senate chamber, panic took hold. Speaker Vrex's many eyes narrowed. "This was not a rebellion. This is war." Senator Cathar's voice, usually measured, trembled. "We underestimated humanity. They fight not just with technology, but with a will forged by survival." Admiral Taquar, bruised but unbroken, vowed vengeance. "We regroup and crush them. No mercy." But Earth's victory on the first day of battle sent a clear message. The Senate's empire was not unbreakable. Back on Earth, Ambassador Miriam Zhao addressed the world and the galaxy. Today, Earth defended itself, not with aggression, but with the resolve to live free, she said. We do not seek conquest, only peace through strength. To those oppressed by the Senate's tyranny, know this: you are not alone. Her words ignited hope across star systems shackled by Senate rule. In the days that followed, Earth's hidden fleets and drones continued to dismantle Senate control. Guerrilla strikes in orbit combined with cyber warfare crippled Senate logistics. However, the Senate was far from defeated. In a final desperate move, Senate warships began targeting civilian satellites, attempting to cut off Earth's communications. Cities across the globe plunged into darkness and chaos, yet Earth's citizens rallied, their spirit unbroken. Keep the networks alive, Zhao commanded. We must show the galaxy that humanity's light will never be extinguished. As battles raged in orbit and Earth prepared for more, a new reality took hold. The Galactic Senate had awakened a force they could neither control nor ignore. The War of Shadows had begun, and humanity was ready to fight for its place among the stars. The war had erupted across space and Earth's orbit, but beneath the chaos another battle was unfolding, a battle of whispers, alliances, and secrets long buried. Ambassador Miriam Zhao sat in a secure communication chamber deep beneath the United Earth Government's headquarters in New Shanghai. The room hummed with encrypted signals from across the galaxy. The message she waited for had finally arrived. A crackling voice filtered through the comm system. Ambassador Zhao, this is Commander Jirin of the Lycor Collective. We have been watching. We stand with Earth. The Lycor were a reclusive species, known in the Galactic Senate for their ancient wisdom and formidable stealth technology. They rarely intervened in galactic politics, but their intervention now sent shockwaves through the Senate. Miriam's pulse quickened. Why now? Why align with humanity? Jirin's reply was calm, but resolute. Because your fight is our fight. The Senate's control has stifled countless worlds. We cannot stand idle while a new spark of rebellion burns. We offer you technology, intelligence, and fleets hidden from Senate eyes. Back in the Senate's war room, Speaker Vrex's many eyes blinked rapidly. The Lycor intervention was unforeseen, he admitted to his council. Their aid could tip the scales. Admiral Tiquar's scaly jaw clenched. Then we must eliminate Earth before their allies arrive. But Earth's leadership moved swiftly. With Lycor support, Earth's drone swarms became smarter, adapting faster to Senate countermeasures. Cloaked ships slipped past blockades, striking at Senate supply lines with surgical precision. Intelligence, shared by the Lycor, uncovered Senate spies and sabotage networks hidden within Earth's own systems. In the icy deserts of Antarctica, a joint Earth-Lycor team established a forward command post. The alien tech hummed with power, a testament to the new alliance. Colonel Aisha Rahman observed the Lycor's shadowy warships docked alongside Earth's newest cruisers. They fight like us, silent, relentless. Meanwhile, in orbit, the Senate fleet tightened its grip, desperate to cut off Earth's new allies. Battles raged daily, but Earth's combined forces held their ground. On the front lines, Captain Elena Vasquez led a daring raid on a Senate weapons depot near Jupiter's orbit, securing advanced plasma cannons that were reverse-engineered and integrated into Earth's defenses. But the alliance was not without cost. Among Earth's own ranks, distrust simmered. Some feared the Lycor's secretive nature, worried their help came with strings attached. Miriam addressed these concerns openly. We must trust to survive, she said. Our enemies exploit division. We stand stronger united, with all who seek freedom. In the Senate chamber, divisions deepened. Some factions called for harsh retaliation. Others, like Senator Cathar, urged negotiation. The galaxy is shifting, Cathar warned. If the Senate destroys Earth and its allies, it risks igniting a war we cannot contain. Tensions mounted as battles spread beyond Earth's system, with colonies and independent systems choosing sides. In a hidden Senate archive, a young Audiobook archivist uncovered ancient prophecies from Lycor legends. stories of a star-born rebellion destined to reshape the galaxy. The Senate's centuries-old control seemed fragile against this rising tide. Back on Earth, Ambassador Zhao prepared for a critical meeting with the Li Corps delegation. The Senate underestimated humanity's resolve and the power of alliance. She said, "Together we will change the fate written in their stars." As the war deepened, the galaxy watched. The defiant fire of humanity, and its hidden allies, was no longer a whisper. It was a roar, and the Senate's grip was slipping. The galactic battlefield was no longer just Earth's fight. It had become a spark that ignited rebellion in distant star systems. The Senate's once imposing fleet was stretched thin, its resources depleted by skirmishes across multiple fronts. In the war room of the Dread Seraph, Admiral Taquar stared grimly at a holographic display showing the Senate fleet's losses mounting. Each red blip marked a ship disabled or destroyed by Earth stealth fighters and Lycor-assisted drone swarms. "We underestimated their resolve. And their allies," he growled. "The Senate's dominance is slipping." On Earth, Ambassador Y. Miriam Zhao stood before the United Earth government, addressing a gathering of military leaders and diplomats. "We have turned the tide, but this victory is only the beginning. The Senate will fight harder, strike faster. We must prepare." General Marcus Lee nodded. "Our forces are stronger than ever, but we cannot fight a war on all fronts indefinitely." Colonel Aisha Rahman laid out a bold plan. "We will strike the Senate's supply lines at their core, attack their logistic hubs and choke their fleet's ability to resupply and repair. Without support, their forces will crumble." With Lycor technology guiding them, Earth's forces launched a series of rapid surgical strikes against Senate supply stations hidden in asteroid fields and remote moons. Cloaked ships slipped past Senate patrols, unleashing devastating plasma bursts that left depots in ruins. In the Senate chamber, Speaker Vrex slammed a clawed hand on the table. "Our supplies are failing. We must call for reinforcements." But the Senate's other colonies hesitate, Senator Cathar warned. "Many sympathize with Earth's cause. The Senate's grip weakens beyond our reach." Amidst the political turmoil, Admiral Taquar received urgent intelligence. A secret Senate fleet was massing near the Andromeda Gate, ready to unleash overwhelming force. "This fleet will crush Earth's rebellion," he declared. "We must strike first." Earth's command debated the risk. General Lee advocated for a daring preemptive strike, while others feared overextension. Ultimately, the decision was made. A coalition task force of Earth and Lycor ships would assault the Senate fleet before it could consolidate power. Captain Elena Vasquez was chosen to lead the strike force. Her reputation for fearless leadership preceded her. As the coalition fleet approached the Andromeda Gate, tension was palpable. The Senate fleet gleamed menacingly, its warships arrayed in formidable formation. But Earth's forces had a secret weapon, a new AI war strategist capable of learning Senate tactics in real time and adapting accordingly. The battle erupted with a fury that shook the void. Plasma beams and missile barrages lit up the darkness, but Earth's cloaked ships darted through enemy lines, striking vital targets and retreating before counterattacks could land. The AI strategist anticipated Senate maneuvers, guiding Earth's forces like a master chess player predicting moves ahead. As the Senate flagship Vanguard maneuvered to flank Earth's fleet, Vasquez piloted her ship in a daring gambit, cutting through the enemy's rear and unleashing a devastating salvo that crippled the flagship's engines. The tide turned swiftly. Senate ships, caught off guard and disorganized, began to fall back. The Andromeda Gate, a strategic jump point, was secured by Earth and Lycor forces, cutting off Senate reinforcements. Back on Earth, celebrations were muted but hopeful. Ambassador Zhao broadcast to the galaxy. "Today, we showed that unity, courage, and determination can overcome even the mightiest empires. The Senate's reign is ending, a new era begins." But the war was far from over. Deep within Senate strongholds, factions debated desperate countermeasures, bioweapons, planetary bombardments, even alliances with dark, forbidden forces. Admiral Taquar, battered but unbroken, vowed to fight until his last breath. Earth has awakened a storm, he whispered, and we will face it head-on. As Earth's forces consolidated their gains and prepared for the next phase of war, one truth became clear. The galaxy's future was no longer written by tyrants. It was in the hands of those brave enough to fight for freedom. The battlefields of space were scarred with the remnants of shattered fleets, but Earth and its allies stood victorious, at least for now. The once mighty Galactic Senate, shaken to its core, struggled to maintain control over its fractured empire. In the newly established United Coalition Command on Luna, Ambassador Miriam Zhao addressed a gathering of representatives from countless, liberated systems. The air was thick with anticipation and hope. "Today we do not celebrate conquest," she said, voice steady and resolute. "We celebrate survival, resilience, and the dawn of a new era, one where freedom is not a privilege of the powerful but a right for all." General Marcus Lee stood beside her, his expression weathered but proud. Humanity was forged in fire, tempered by adversity. We have proven that no force can suppress the will to live free. The coalition had grown beyond Earth and the Lycor Collective. Planets once shackled under Senate rule now sent emissaries, ready to build a galaxy united by cooperation rather than domination. Yet peace was fragile. Admiral Taquar, captured during the final skirmishes, stood before the coalition's tribunal. His pride was intact, but defeat humbled him. "You fought well," he admitted. "Perhaps the Senate was not as invincible as we believed." In the Senate's remnants, hardliners schemed, unwilling to accept their downfall. But the coalition's message was clear: tyranny would not stand. Back on Earth, citizens poured into the streets, celebrating a future they had fought so fiercely to secure. Skyscrapers gleamed with new lights, satellites returned to the skies, and children dreamed of stars unchained by fear. Captain Elena Vasquez stood on a hill overlooking New Shanghai, watching the sun rise. The battle had tested everything: courage, loyalty, sacrifice. But it had also revealed humanity's greatest strength: unity. In the depths of space, a new fleet assembled. Not one built for war, but for exploration and defense. Ships adorned with the insignia of the United Coalition set course for the stars, carrying hopes of peace and discovery. Ambassador Zhao, standing before the fleet's departure, declared, "This is only the beginning. We will protect the freedom we have won and reach for the infinite possibilities of the cosmos." As Earth's anthem echoed through space, a galaxy once bound by fear began to breathe free. The Galactic Senate had tried to disarm humanity, but Earth had shocked them all, not with submission but with unyielding defiance, and from the ashes of war rose a new dawn, for humanity, and for all who dared to dream of liberty among the stars.